Hey everybody, I'm Jesse.
I'm Jenny.
And we are Outside is Calling.
Welcome to Port Angeles, Washington.
Today we're going to, what are we going to do today?
Today we're talking about our series, The Path to Full-Time.
Luckily I have my cheat sheet right here. Yeah, this is our next Path to Full-Time video. We're going to talk about setting a date for your plans and what else.
And how to navigate the millions of questions that you're going to have when you first start the process of figuring out how to travel full-time.
Yeah, we're going to share the methods we used for our planning and our researching, and with that you're going to have 1,000 questions come up. And I know we did, and so we're going to share the steps we took to kind of navigate through those questions to get your questions answered.
In our last video we talked about becoming a wise consumer, getting out of debt, and dreaming big, putting down everything that you might want to do on paper so that you have a good visual.
So here lately I've been working on a documentary for a school project, and with that I had to do some research, and I came across some old articles I had read a long time ago. One of my favorite articles is about dying people's regrets, and it's kind of a sad story, but it's a great lesson that all of us can learn from. The number one regret is that I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. And it really resonates with us because we try to live our life intentionally, seize the day. There's always things that make it not very easy to do what you want to do. We have that even though we're full-time RVing. But we still try to make it a point to come to beautiful places like this and, you know, make the best use of the time that we have. Health brings a freedom very few realize until they no longer have it. It's pretty heavy.
It really resonated with us. That has a lot to do with why we are traveling full-time right now. Jesse and I definitely enjoy some activities that if we were to lose our health or as we get older we might not be able to do. And so we're going to do them now while we can. And worst case scenario, we lose a few years of work and we're going to have to start back over, start saving what we missed out in these past few years, but we're not going to regret it.
Yeah, that was one of the other, I won't read all of them, but the dying people's regrets, one of them was that they wish they had not worked as much. And so work is important. We're not advocating to be a bum and, you know,
don't quit and mooch off your parents.
Although we are actually mooch docking right now.
Not from our parents though.
No, our old neighbors are wonderful people, and they sold their house before we sold our home. They lived in the Columbia Gorge next to us, and they've moved up here to, where are we at, Port Angeles? Yeah,
we are in Port Angeles, and luckily while we were neighbors we became friends, and so we've stayed in touch over the past year and a half, and they're like, hey, we have a big yard, we have an outlet, come on and visit.
Okay, so let's jump right in. In 2015, we decided we're going to travel and do something. We didn't know what, we didn't know exactly all the details, but we knew we weren't happy in our current lives and we wanted to do something about it.
We'd always loved to travel, and there were too many places to choose just to move to, and so we told ourselves we were going to figure out how. We had no clue how it was going to happen, but we were going to figure out how we could travel.
Yeah, there's so many people on YouTube like this channel that are doing it. We figured, hey, you know what? If those people can do it, so can we.
And we weren't that nice about it. We were like, look, if those assholes can be chasing the awesome weather, we want to do that too. So we set a date. We set a date of October 1st of 2017.
That gave us 2 years to figure out all the details. More than enough time to get it all figured out.
And that's saying something, right? Because we did not have a plan.
I think one of the biggest hurdles for us is we did not have jobs that would carry over into remote work. Our jobs were stationary jobs that would not allow us to travel full-time. So we began looking at alternatives. What about, you know, becoming a guide at a mountain lodge for 6 months out of the year, or seasonal work, you know, places where we could work part of the year and have half the year off. we thought about there's a possibility of teaching English in other countries.
So my background is in teaching, and so that's kind of a job that we can take around, but there would be a lot of work involved with becoming stationary. You know, I can do remote, but it's highly scheduled and you have to be online for a certain amount of time at a certain amount of time. So it wasn't the sort of flexible job that we were really looking for. Since we'd become debt-free, we didn't have those monthly payments that were kind of tying us down. We now had the freedom to travel for long term if we wanted to.
One key thing we talked about in our last video was becoming debt-free. And that's game-changing in so many ways. You're going to hear more about it, but one way it was game-changing is because we didn't have those monthly payments for vehicles or other debt payments. We were then able to take all that extra income that had been going to payments. We began rolling that into a travel fund. So each month, that surplus money, that disposable income, was put into an account. It was good because we didn't spend the money. It wasn't just sitting there, wanting to be spent. We put it into an account, but it was our travel account. So it kind of kept that dream going. And each month, as the account grew larger, so too did all of our dreams and all the possibilities.
Yeah, I think the possibility was the biggest one, right? As you see that fund grow, it becomes more and more possible each day, each month, that we really can do this. Look at all this money that we're saving into this fund that we've designated specifically to travel.
Exactly, and it's baby steps. It wasn't a lot of money at first. It was $100 here and $200 there, but eventually, it kind of grew, and it was very empowering. This helped keep us motivated.
So setting a date helps you psychologically, it helps you stay on track, and for us it was really important because we owned a home, and having that date set really helped us figure out if we were going to list our home for sale or if we were going to try to rent it out.
And along with that, to do either of those things, we need to get all of our things out of the home. And are we going to sell our possessions or put some in storage, or a combination of both?
And if we're going to move out of our house completely after we sell it, we're going to have to move into the RV. So what things can we keep to go into the RV, so on and so forth.
And as we're moving into the RV, now where are we going to park the RV? Once we sell the home, we can't keep it at the house anymore, so do we need to find an RV park or find a friend? So we had all these layers of decisions to make, and honestly, having both the deadline as well as our big whiteboard with all these things laid out in a timeline, it really helped to make sense of all the moving parts and pieces.
And even though our date was set for October 1st, unfortunately in 2017, that summer, there was an awful forest fire in the Columbia Gorge. So we even had to wait that much longer to list our home for sale, for the fires to be done. And we actually got a month off track. But a month, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever possible, we take one big goal or milestone and divide it up into smaller bite-sized pieces. And it really made it that much easier because, again, we have 2 years here. And that was great because, A, we were able to complete them faster. You had that sense of satisfaction of achievement quicker. It wasn't as daunting. And also by having those small victories, that kind of helped propel us and keep us motivated as well.
Yeah, instead of getting bogged down with this massive to-do list, every time you got one done, it was like, yes, we're that much closer. So an example of some of the goals, the smaller goals that we set for ourselves, was figuring out how to get mail while we were driving around the country, and also 3 specific RV floor plans that we loved, right? There are so many different models that it's impossible to choose from when you look at all of them as a whole. So we picked 3 that we knew we liked, and we focused our searches on those.
Finding the right RV for us was a very big goal. Let's just find the best 3 floor plans that work for us.
Another very important aspect, we had to figure out insurance. At what point do we go from having insurance through our employers to having personal or private insurance? Here's the thing, even though these problems and questions seem completely unmanageable,
by taking them one piece at a time, they were totally manageable.
Yeah, I mean, we were not the first people to ever want to do this.
And even though we didn't have anybody we knew that had all the answers or had done this, just taking some time to research stuff on the internet, there's all kinds of other great sources out there. We just had to find them.
YouTube is your friend. Thanks for watching this.
So this is just one small piece of the whole process. Be sure to stay tuned. We're going to have more videos, and we're going to address topics such as downsizing.
Buying our RV.
Yeah, exactly. That was a whole other process in itself, trying to buy buy an RV and not spend too much money on your RV, right?
Yeah.
Try to get a good deal. And then of course, making the transition itself from a stationary to a moving to a nomad.
A small nomadic house. Probably much smaller than your house now. Anyway, so this video was short and sweet, but this step is a very important one. We wanted to let this one stand out. Setting a date makes all the difference. So please make sure you subscribe. We're gonna keep this series going, and we have other more exciting things coming out as well. So stay tuned.
And we'll see you guys next time.
How is that for perfect timing? We had Tucker napping in a stroller, and we just finished the video, and he's awake. Perfect timing.
I had to focus on your face. Go ahead and talk.
La 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 la. Oh, okay. I can get it. Wow!